Well, the trans activists have wasted absolutely no time celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. And I saw this video clip. I think it's of James is smiling. Now, I've made a number of videos in the past about James is smiling, a massive voice in the dingbat trans space, I guess you could say. Anyway, James is smiling seems to think that having sympathy for Charlie Kirk and his assassination is effing weird. Have a watch of, say, or what James is smiling had to say in response to the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Sympathy for Charlie Kirk is weird. There seems to be this weird emphasis on taking the moral high ground and that you are somehow a better person if you're like, I feel bad for his family. This is the world he wanted and the world he was building. This is a white supremacist who wanted both of us dead. He was shot in the middle of saying something transphobic about trans people. And yet you want to have sympathy for him. You don't have to like violence, but I'm confused as to how you thought the revolution was going to be magically bloodless. Where is this sympathy for Palestinians, for the Sudanese people, for the Congolese, for the black people in America that are killed at the hands of police violence, for the black trans women that are being murdered for simply existing? Why does this sympathy extend to a white supremacist, but not to the communities that actually need your care? I think that people are afraid they're going to lose a part of their humanity if they don't have sympathy for somebody who is a victim of gun violence, when in reality, you're losing your humanity by allowing fascists to define your sympathy for you. While you're busy having a moral dilemma, they win. I think it's admirable to want to find the best in people and to want to continue to have sympathy for those who experience something tragic. This is the world that man wanted to live in, and while he's dead, there's a lot of folks that need that care and sympathy that are still alive.
Right. Already saying that Charlie wanted James and all of the other trans people dead. Not true at all. Charlie didn't want anyone dead. He invited discourse. And, you know, the thing that's frustrating me is having to, like, even call this to attention. Like, it is infuriating to me because I get sick and tired of it. How do these people even get on with their days realizing this is the kind of stuff they believe? Like, in their world, in their mind, it's like, oh, look at me. I am better than someone like Charlie Kirk because I'm living in a Delulu land. I am living in this fantasy land. I am not actually living my true authentic self. I am doing things to my body, which is actually horrific. And Charlie wanted to help people that were damaging and doing harm for their bodies. But more than that, Charlie wanted to help people's brains so that they can become intelligent. Charlie was a very intelligent man. And again, I still can't believe I'm saying was. I should be saying Charlie is a very intelligent man, but unfortunately, the likes of someone that believed in transgenderism took his life, was dating a trans activist of sorts, like someone that was doing this to themselves. What James is smiling is doing. Now, James has a very big following on TikTok, on social media, and loads of people are listening to this dingbat speak, saying absolute horrific lies about a good man and saying that, oh, where's the moral high ground of people that are showing some sort of sympathy? Hello, James. This is called human decency. I think if this was someone on the left, you'd be like absolutely horrified, wouldn't you? But because this is someone on the right that you hate and you disagree with vehemently, you're like, well, he wanted us dead. False. He didn't. So then you have no sympathy for anyone on the right. You're no longer human, mate. Just hate to break it to you. You don't even want to acknowledge or show any kind of human decency. You've lost the ability to be human, if that's the case. Loads of these radical leftists have lost the ability to be human because they celebrate the loss of life of someone that was a good man who they think was homophobic, transphobic, or whatever else. If that were even the case, what does that even matter? So someone's life holds less significance over their transphobia, homophobia, whatever phobia they want to throw out there. Are you kidding me? This is how these people value, or these demonic individuals value life. Doesn't matter to them. Sympathies do reach the communities that actually need sympathy, and things are actually done about it. But I think you're living in a fantasy land. James is smiling. Again, the transgenderism ideological narrative is one that is fantastical, right? You have this particular little bubble that you live in, and you don't look outside of that bubble. And that little bubble that you're living in is quite violent, it's quite hateful, and you want to go around. And I mean, as Charlie said, you can always tell a lot about a person by the way they react when someone is killed. Case in point, look at how these people are reacting to Charlie's death. They're making excuses. Oh, but this is the world that he created. Look at this. This is what he wanted. No, he advocated for freedom of speech so that dingbats like you get to actually say the kind of hateful things you get to say. He would defend your right to be able to say something. And then he would ask, let's debate it. Let's have a conversation. He's not guilty of doing anything harmful or hateful. He never hurt anybody. But people seem to think that, oh, my words or Charlie's words, they hit deep. Well, guess what, mate? Your words also have power too. You want to play that game? And then you want to try and say that, what about the Palestinian sympathies? What about all these other places that need sympathies? You know, the thing is, there's a time and place for everything. Right now, we're focusing on an actual tragedy of Charlie Kirk being killed. So people want to move on so quickly. But the impact that Charlie had is immense. And the way that he went out tells us all trans violence is a real thing. It's a very hateful ideology. And we're seeing it from an activist that couldn't care less, trying to make up these horrible excuses. There's no buts. Absolutely no buts. See, people on, like I've said this in one of my other videos, there's now only sane versus insane. Dingbat versus non-dingbat. This is a dingbat. Insane. And we've got sane people that actually realize humanity. And insane people, like James is smiling, that recognize that you're no longer human, mate. You're not. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.